Hey guys, and yes, I'm back right now with Alien Romulus for you because, yeah, two and a half weeks ago, I've seen Alien Romulus, and as surprising to say it, I actually really enjoyed the movie. Like a lot of people already been saying, I very much agree that this is certainly the best movie in the franchise since Aliens. But because it's been like 3 weeks since the movie came out, I will have spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you don't watch the video, but unless you're simply not interested in the movie at all, I totally believe you probably have seen it at this point anyway. But yep, warning, there will be spoilers very much in this review. But now I will say, as I already said, yes, this is totally the best movie in the franchise since Aliens. But would I say it's an example of one of those movies where at the end you feel like you've seen it before but better? Well, yes and no. It's certainly nowhere near as good as Alien and Aliens. Nowhere near as good as those two. But then again, it's such a high bar that I don't think anyone expected to really reach their bar. Like, the first Alien movie is a fantastic classic, is a fantastic science fiction horror classic, and the sequel, Aliens, on the other hand, is a masterpiece. It's literally one of my favorite science fiction movies of all time. I do remember I did a top 10 favorite science fiction movies at some point, and yes, Aliens was solely on that list, and it still very much is, because Aliens is solely one of my favorite science fiction movies of all time. I really adore Aliens. Like, which one is better, Alien or Aliens? Again, this is a debate I think that will exist till the end of time, and good, because we should be debating the quality of movies, but I personally very much am Team Aliens, personally, but both movies have their merits, and none of the sequels ever had a chance to live up to any of them. And what matters about Alien Romulus is that, again, it's the best of the sequels, prequels, because none of the sequels or prequels have ever been any good. Until Alien Romulus, even though if it's still nowhere near as good as those two. All that matters is that Alien Romulus is much better than every single sequel and prequel that came out after the first two. And the first positive thing I'll say about this I really liked is that I think setting this movie in between the first two classic movies, I think was a really smart choice, and that very much the movie a favor. I think distancing itself from all the other sequels and prequels was the single best thing that did a movie a huge favor, because this movie, again, as I just said, takes place after the original Alien, but before Aliens, and it also focuses on an entirely new cast of characters. And while there are some references to all the other movies, including the trashy ones, at the end of the day, I think that setting it up in between the first two classics is really the really great choice the movie has made, and it very much worked hugely in its favor. Like, as I've been saying, all the other sequels and prequels I think are trash and they totally deserve to be out of canon. Alien Romulus, on the other hand, I will go as far as to say it deserves to be part of the canon. I also really like the new characters in this movie. I was initially afraid there would be like some of those bland characters that you often see in cheesy live action movies, like for example in those Transformers movies, but I'm happy to say I think they were surprisingly well written and the actors did a really good job, and I was very much invested in their story and what happens to them, and I also really liked that they chose to make them young teenagers this time instead of maybe late teenagers, young adults, instead of just like middle-aged characters that all the previous movies had. I also really like the way the xenomorphs looked in this movie. I always very much loved the designs of the xenomorphs, and I always thought they looked really great. And I would say, here in Alien Romulus, they actually look best since Aliens, actually. Yep, I really like the design, because all the previous modern CGI of the xenomorphs was pretty terrible, but here it was surprisingly well done, and yes, I say xenomorphs look best, haven't looked that good since Aliens, actually. And I'm also really happy that the trailers for this movie haven't revealed much. In fact, I say they revealed very little at all, and I like that, because nowadays the trailers reveal just like way too much about their movies. Like, for example, the trailer of Tenet was a perfect example of that. Like, the trailer practically revealed the whole movie. Like, I love Tenet, I thought it was a great movie, but the trailer practically revealed almost everything, and it also seems like that will be the case with Gladiator 2. Like, it seems like the trailer was also basically a summary of the whole movie. But here, on the other hand, the trailer barely revealed almost anything, which is what exactly the trailer should do. And when people say that Alien Romulus combined parts about Alien and aliens, they very much are right, but it also very much also used plenty of elements from all the other Alien movies. Like, for example, the final act, which seems to be, by the way, the part that very much divides fans, because I see plenty of people online actually saying that, some people saying great movie, but then others saying basically that it was great up until the last act. The last act is when the movie fell apart for me. Yeah, I see plenty of people saying that, but I personally really loved the final act. I thought it was really great, and you can totally see that it was very much inspired by Alien Resurrection. Alien Resurrection is a piece of crap, by the way, but Alien Romulus does a very similar thing that Alien Resurrection did, but executes it much better, in my opinion, because you probably remember Newborn in Alien Resurrection. Yup, that was so lame, so dumb, so cheesy, but Alien Resurrection does a very similar thing, although this new creature is actually called Offspring, but this time it executes it much better, and in contrast to Newborn, the Offspring actually feels like a threat, and it's actually scary and dangerous, and like, there's a tension actually. It showed me that the idea that was used in Alien Resurrection wasn't necessarily a bad idea, just very terribly executed. But then again, the whole movie was cheesy and lame anyway, so I guess it kind of explains it. Because, as I just said, in Alien Romulus, it was actually scary, creepy and unsettling. Overall, I have to say, I was quite happy with Alien Romulus. It's certainly nowhere near as good as the first two movies in the franchise, but then again, those two, especially Aliens, are masterpieces, so it's not like it really had any chance to live up to those two. But overall, I'll quite happily include it in the Alien canon, because all the other sequels and prequels, yep, those deserve to be scrapped from canon, all of them. But Alien Romulus, I will actually be happy to include in the canon. And you probably ask me now if I want even more movies in the Alien franchise now that I liked Alien Romulus. And the answer to that is no. Like, they most certainly will make more movies, sadly, with the success of Alien Romulus, but at the same time, if it was up to me, I really wish they just stopped making movies in this franchise. I always thought that Alien was one of those franchises just like the Terminator, that really, it needed really only the first two movies, and nothing afterwards was ever really needed. And while I will consider Alien Romulus a pretty good enjoyable spin-off, at the end of the day, I just think it's one of those franchises that doesn't really need any more. Again, I'm almost certain that they will sadly make more movies in the franchise, but truly, I think that, as I already said, we only really needed the first two Alien movies anyway. And while I will gladly welcome Alien Romulus as a pretty good spin-off, at the end of the day, maybe Hollywood should really start doing more original ideas. Not that they will anyway, but they should. Even though we know they won't anyway. But guys, here is my long promised review of Alien Romulus, and thank you for checking out this video. Press the like button, please subscribe to this channel, and I will talk to you soon in another video. Talk to you very soon. Bye!